Copa America 2024 Group B predictions for you guys. Group B, my group of death. We'll get into that more a little bit later. For Group B, before actually talking about the group as a whole, Diego and I are going to be at one of the games, Jamaica versus Ecuador in Las Vegas on June 26th. Same day, Andres is going to the Mexico-Venezuela game. So if you guys are interested in anything Group B, if you're a fan of any four of these teams, that's Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica, make sure to stick around for a lot of content regarding this specific group because we're all going to be involved in one way or another. So let's get into it. If you guys haven't watched our Group A predictions, make sure to go watch those first. That clusterfuck of a video. In that same video, we're going to continue the same pattern. We're going to go 4th place up to 1st place. 4th place, I am going to go Venezuela here. I'm going to go Venezuela for 4th place. Might be a little bit of a controversial one, depending on who you support. But like I said, this is the group of death here. Honestly, any one of these teams could finish in the top 2 spots. For sake of putting them in standings, it's going to be Venezuela 4th. Andres, 4th place for you goes to?
I'm going to go Venezuela too. It's hard though, because if you look at Venezuela's like recent games, like in terms of the past year, they've actually done all right.
They're decent, man. They're fairly decent.
In March, they lost 2-1 to Italy. Not bad. And in October of last year, they tied Brazil 1-1. Yes, these are friendlies, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of these teams, especially Venezuela, Ecuador, they always do good. They're always strong. Sometimes if you just look at it on paper, you're like, oh, whatever, kind of like brush them aside. But overall, when they actually do play, they actually look very like a strong side. So it's a toss up for me. But I'm gonna go. It's either Venezuela or Ecuador, just because I'm biased.
Really?
But, yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that, just in case no one knew that. But I'm gonna go Venezuela 4th. But I could see a lot of interchange in these groups of like a lot of bouncing around until the final game. Of
like I said, this is the group of death. This is the most even group there is in the entire tournament. Diego, you got number 4.
Venezuela. I like them. Okay. I actually think they're a strong team, but I don't think they're stronger than the other 3 teams. That's not to say they can't pull out a shock result, and I think they definitely could. But it's too hard to predict that because there's a lot of factors that go into it. So I like their chances to get a point from even like Mexico, but I think they don't have enough to like do enough to beat the other 3.
Yeah. There are some factors that I want to mention too for Venezuela. As far as I can tell, there's no friendly scheduled for them between now and the tournament. That's huge. In the Group A predictions, make sure to go check that out. Like I said, but for Canada, they're playing Netherlands and France right before the tournament. They are getting ready to start the tournament by playing the best teams in the world. Really good. That's what you should be doing to prepare for this. For teams that kind of need to see where they're at in relation to the playing field here. They also don't play Jamaica, which probably would be their best chance at getting points until the last game. They play Ecuador first, and then they play Mexico second. So unfortunately, they play the two best teams, in my opinion, in this group first. It's going to be really hard for them. If they don't do anything there, it's going to be really hard for them to make it out in general. So that's what I would say. That's why there's a big reason for me Venezuela going last. Is just honestly circumstance is a really big reason for me, for them to finish last. Because, like I said, Ecuador, Mexico, really, really good teams for them to start playing against. And with no preparation, they're coming in cold. Pretty rough. The team they just played recently was Guatemala. They drew 0-0 with Guatemala. They played Italy right before that. Only lost 2-1 to be fair. Still lost though. Before that, they lost to Colombia. Before that, they drew with Peru, drew with Ecuador. The most recent win comes in October of last year against Chile, who had a red card. So I think we're all on unanimous decision here.
Different from last video, I will say. A lot different.
This is the fastest we've gotten through a spacing so far in this recording session. I guess we just move to number 3 then.
Position 3.
Diego, give me your 3 then. Let's start it off with a bang.
3, Jamaica.
Oh, dude.
What
are you doing?
No, that's Jamaica. Okay. I'm gonna put Jamaica 3 too.
Oh,
if I'm being honest.
You agree?
No,
okay,
I'm agreeing here. However, I do think Jamaica could go into second place. They very easily could finish this top 2, like I said, within their team. A lot of it depends on the lineup they bring into the team, they bring into the squad. If you guys don't know, look at this plug. Watch this. Watch the segue. We did do a video on the 7 players that are eligible for Jamaica that should make the switch for Copa America. We might do a part 2. Maybe we do a part 3. Make sure to go check those out. Diego, continue. Jamaica in third place.
The reason I put Jamaica third, I like Jamaica, of course. We've talked a lot about Jamaica on this channel.
Love Jamaica. We love Jamaica. I should have worn my Jamaica kit. Jesus.
I should have worn mine. With that being said.
Yeah, I should have worn mine too.
With that being said, the other 2 teams, Ecuador, Mexico, I have some good cases for them for why they are just better, in a better position / stronger. And that's purely it. It's not because Jamaica has done anything wrong. They do enough for what they have, for sure, and they could do more. But Ecuador are very strong.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll go into that when we go talk about Ecuador, but they're very strong. And Mexico, I mean, they have the home crowd on their side. And that's going to matter a lot.
It's true. It's a fair point to make.
You're going to have so many fans. They'll be the second most fans behind the U.S. when you're playing where they're playing, in the stadiums they're playing. So I'm sorry, Jamaica, but I don't see them being better than either Ecuador or Mexico. So that's why they're third.
It's a fair case to make. Obviously, each nation goes through their own problems and have their own issues, and vice versa. Going into this, I think just Jamaica's are unfortunately it's going to be the reason they don't finish top 2. Again, though, we want Jamaica to finish in the top 2. We would love Jamaica to finish top 2. We love Jamaica. If you're a subscriber, literally statistically, the chances are you're from Jamaica. So we very much support the Jamaican team. Right now, in this moment, it's just really hard for me to put them over the other 2. I think we'll do another video in the couple weeks before the stream actually starts, because by then we'll have a better picture. And that could change by then. I think as of right now, Jamaica might not finish in the top 2. Andres, who's your 3? Your number 3.
Don't worry, Jamaican fans. I got you covered.
There he is.
Ecuador. Ecuador third. I'm going to just do it for the culture. Yes, they're a strong side, like you guys said. But Jamaica, I was very impressed by, I'm not going to say it was first or second like I did last video and ruined the whole thing. But I was very impressed by their USA performance, especially with all the key players that were out and everything that was going around the federation itself. I was very impressed with the performance, and I think it's only going to boost their confidence going into this tournament. So I also think they'll have some players that they need back. Yeah. And if not, I think they'll also just do good overall. So I'm going to go second. I think it's also a really good test to see where this national team is at overall. Instead of just playing against Concacaf teams, because we can talk about Concacaf all the time, but in terms of like logistics outside World Cup type of thing, I think it's a really good test for Jamaica. So I'm gonna go Ecuador third, and then I just think Jamaica is gonna be able to top it, and Mexico will be in the top 2. I'm not gonna say where.
I'll say for Jamaica too, it's gonna be the exact same reason for Venezuela. Jamaica, their first 2 games, Mexico first, Ecuador second. The 2 favorites to make out of this group, I would say, they play first again like Venezuela. I think it's going to be a little bit harder. Leading up to it, they don't play friendlies, but they have World Cup qualifiers, which is honestly it's more detrimental to Jamaica than the friendlies, because June 6th they played the Dominican Republic, June 9th they played Dominica. It's nice for fitness, but they're not really tests to see where the team is at, in my opinion, leading into the tournament, it's not always a bad thing. I just do think it would be a bad thing here, personally. For the Reggae Boyz. Okay. Me and Diego Jamaica third. Andres Ecuador third. Interesting. Second place, I'm going to go Mexico. I think second place is where Mexico's at for me. I think they should make it out of here. If they don't make it out of the group, that is so telling. That is so telling of their situation right now. Everybody knows the situation of, if you're a Concacaf viewer, everybody knows Mexico are rather in decline, while the USA is moving forward as a nation. So if they don't do anything here, that's upsetting, and I really do think they should. But second place where I'm going to put them at, I do think they have enough quality to at least to go past Venezuela and probably Jamaica. Against Ecuador, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to do, but I'm going to go second place here. Andres, give me your second place.
Mexico. I'm going to go Mexico second. I don't trust Jimmy enough to to get the job done. I was confident going into it until the Nations League final, and that killed the confidence for me very much so.
Fair.
So it just depends on the lineup. If he sticks to his favorites, then yeah, I can see us finishing second, possibly not. No, I can see us finishing. Even if we play bad, I can still see us barely getting out of it. It won't be pretty, but yeah, it depends. It depends if he's gonna learn his lesson or he's just gonna be a stubborn asshole prick. It just depends. It just depends if he's gonna learn or not. But yeah, I'm gonna go second. I'm okay with that. Second. That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't give you a face of just because I was actually gonna go second too.
No, you're good. And the reason I started laughing when you said second is because I just know the first place conversation is gonna be really funny after this. But Diego, second place for you, Ecuador, Mexico.
No bias, baby.
So I'm gonna go personally. Okay, let me preface this saying that I don't think Mexico is that far above Ecuador in terms of quality.
All right.
But Mexico has, I genuinely do think their fans, their 12th man, if you will, is gonna bring this level of like ferocity to the stadium that it's gonna be hard for these teams to handle. Do I think Ecuador can finish first? Absolutely. But am I still gonna put Mexico first? Yes. So I'm gonna put Ecuador second. I'm gonna go Ecuador second. I like them. I think they did very well in the World Cup when they played and just got a little unlucky. I want to see them do well, and so I do think they can do well, but I'm going to have to go second just because of what Mexico has.
Okay. That's fair. I really quick want to mention the FIFA men's rankings, and this is going to be kind of a discourse on that. Mexico's put 14th in the world, whereas Ecuador's 31st. They should be way closer to each other there. There is no reason Mexico should be 14th in the world right now. I'm just going to say that.
That's why, guys. Come on now. Let's be real here.
Mexico. Okay. Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this as to who they're above. One spot above Uruguay.
Yep.
No.
Should be higher.
No. They're 2 spots above Germany.
Should be.
Japan's
we got Germany's number, bro.
Japan's behind them. South Korea's behind them.
That's valid.
Yeah, no.
And South Korea, dog. Yes, it is. Don't even.
Not right now. Ecuador shouldn't be at 31st. It should be way higher. Mexico should be 14th. It should be way lower. That's all I'm going to say.
Game's a game, bud.
We're going to the first. This is not the game. If this is not the game.
Well, they got to play games to get those rankings. They just don't randomly give it to them.
Yeah, FIFA's got to watch them too. FIFA's got to watch them too, and they're obviously not.
Just wait.
I just want to say also, Mexico went up a ranking since the most recent ones. They went up. Yeah, they went up.
That one's baffling. The Federation is paying someone. I can tell you that.
Money's moving around. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Someone check someone's bank accounts.
First place I'm going to go Ecuador here. If you put Ecuador and Mexico and you put a combined 11, Ecuador has more players in there. 100%. Ecuador has more players in the starting 11 if Ecuador and Mexico combined. I'm just going to name off a few players here. Moises Caicedo. He in the midfield. Yeah, I know.
He provides some great assists. I'm not gonna lie.
He's doing way better than people want to say. Statistically, he's doing way better than a lot of people want to talk that people want to talk about. Beside the point, Golden Mobile wise, top class midfielder. There's a reason he's playing for Chelsea. Left back, Estupiñán. Come on, dog. Estupiñán. I think he's going to, when it's all said and done, at the height of his career, he will be a top 4, maybe 5 left back in the world. He's already a top 3 or 4 left back in the Prem. Let's be honest here. I love saying things and then seeing Diego just lean forward and then hear the typing.
He's like, hold on, let me fact check that real quick.
Just 2 players, I could name more. Just 2 players that are going to make the difference. Counter. Exactly. That's why I named these 2 players. This is the reason why I think Ecuador is going to finish first place. Really good team. Let's go back to the World Cup here.
You did not just say Moises Caicedo is better than Edson Alvarez. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, but that's not even my main point. I'm gonna make.
That's
I'm not even gonna.
mind-boggling.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna argue it. My main point is they just have a better team. They have better players than Mexico does right now. Historically, very different for them. That's very different for them. But that's the reason. I mean, Ecuador in the last World Cup, obviously 2 years ago, but like they did really well. Ecuador was a team where a lot of people liked, because not many have reason to dislike them. I think Ecuador are going to finish first year and they're going to move forward, and I think even when they move to the quarterfinals, I think they're a team to be reckoned with who could move into the semifinals. If I'm being honest, I back Ecuador very much so here, so I'm going to go Ecuador number one. Diego, give me your reason for Ecuador number one, because that's if I remember correctly. Mexico number one. Give me Mexico number
one. I do agree that I think Ecuador has a lot of good players there. They do lack the experience, and I know that Mexico are in a very consistent spot right now. But at the end of the day, they have some of those players in there have that experience that Ecuadorian players just don't. No offense to Caicedo, but he kind of been losing a lot of games with Chelsea. That's not exactly building that winning mindset. Not that he can't, but it's not that this season. It ain't it. Estupiñán's been good. I don't know if he'll be top 4 in the world. I don't particularly agree with that, but I think he's been very good. He's definitely been the top 5, probably top 5 full left back in the Prem, but I mean, I think that's a little less competition. I like Mexico's chances with that home advantage, and I like their chances with their experience. Do I think they'll get very far after that? No. I think once you come across the better teams, they will get picked apart. But I like the fact that they could probably pull a win and a draw, and maybe scratch away another win. I don't think this group is going to be won by a large amount of points, for the record.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
100%.
by 1 or 2 points.
Goal difference, if I'm being honest.
Goal difference, but I'm sorry. I have a feeling that Mexico just pulls it through here, and just by a little bit.
I really okay. My rebuttal to you is like, who has the experience on Mexico's team besides Ochoa? Don't say Ochoa. Who has the experience against CONMEBOL teams here to give me a reason to say that they're going to do really well compared to a CONMEBOL team against CONMEBOL players?
Well, considering the fact that most of these players were also, a lot of them were at the World Cup as well, they still played in these big games. And I don't care if they play against Saudi Arabia. When you're in the World Cup, every game is a fight for your life.
I mean, you can say the same about Ecuador.
And no, 100%. But wait. I like the fact that when I saw the fight that Mexico showed, I know they were poor, but they even then they still showed that fight.
I gotta admit that Saudi Arabia game was crazy.
You know,
they put everything they had into that.
With Mexico in the World Cup, I don't disagree with you. You know, yes, 100%. Mexico was there to play. And I don't think they won't be here to play, but Mexico a year and a half ago, completely be honest.
I don't think so. I think they're in the same spot.
Yeah, I don't think they're in that spot.
I don't think they're in, like you said, they're in the decline. I think they're just in a stagnant. They're not going anywhere because there's nowhere to go to at the moment. Because the players are the same. If you compare last, the team sheets are the same except like a few minus a few players that are bench players. But it's the same squad. It's just there's just stagnant. There's no growth at the moment, which is the most frustrating part. Is that we keep having these discussions, like I've said in previous. It's the same discussion because nothing's changing, but it's not getting worse. It's not getting better. It's just the same outcome is happening every single time.
That's almost what I mean, though. Is that stagnant? So many other teams go improving, including Ecuador. I mean, that's almost a decline in my eyes. If you're not moving forward, you're going backwards in relation to a lot of these teams. Like, that's why Ecuador, compare this team with a couple years ago, so much better. I'll name a few more players. You have Kendry Páez, who's absolutely killing it on the domestic level. He's going to move to Chelsea pretty soon. Hincapie, he just won the Bundesliga title with Bayer Leverkusen.
Fuck off.
And he I'm sorry, but he might win. Crits. He might win the Europa League after this. Ecuador just has a better team. That's all it is for me. And you know, Mexico, yes, they have the heart, they have the fans behind them, but they did also in the Nations League. they also did in Gold Cups. That didn't push them past. If you go back a year and a half, okay, Mexico has its praise, but since then, be honest, the praise for Mexico is way less than 2 years ago, whereas the praise for Ecuador is way more, for good reason. I think I really do think Ecuador is a much better team here than Mexico going into the tournament. If you just compare the players at the very minimum.
Well, also
and with CONMEBOL, I mean, like experience, yes, in situations, but Ecuador has experience with CONMEBOL with these players. These players are bred in Ecuador or in South America for the most part. You know, they know how to play these players. That's what I mean. That's why I think Ecuador has the much better foundation to mount a good tournament. That's why I think they're going first.
Fair. I'm just saying, like, you bring up the World Cup performance, but their group wasn't that hard in retrospect. If you want to compare Mexico and Ecuador, it wasn't. Mexico's was significantly harder. You had the World Cup winner in your group. You had Poland. So, but I just don't see. I know I'm putting Mexico second here. It just the fact that Ecuador is going to top them is just not. I don't see it. I sure hope not, because I'm fucking going to that game, bro. I'm going. Like, that's the game I'm going to. Right?
You're going against Venezuela. You're going against
Venezuela. Okay, at least there's hope. But yeah, but no, I don't see that. Well, for me, I think have we said everyone's number one, right? Except mine, right?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. Well,
we know it's just going to be Jamaica now.
Jamaican, our Jamaican family. I gotta support the Reggae Boyz. You know how it is. No, but I just see it. I see them as a dark horse, and I just. I see them as a dark horse in this group stage, and I really think they can surprise some people, especially because they don't got the experience with these CONMEBOL teams as Mexico does. But I think they can really shock some people here, and I think depending on the players, because we don't know, I think it can be a real big asset. But I think Jamaica could top it. I genuinely think they're going to finish 5, and then Mexico's going to have 4 points. So it's going to be really close. Like we've all agreed, it's going to be super close. I think they'll draw 2, win 1. I don't know who. I know they're not going to be Mexico, but I think they can draw against Mexico. And I think it's going to be like either first and second are going to be tied with X amount of points, and it's going to be goal difference. It's going to be difference. But yeah,
you said Jamaica's finishing top with 5 points.
Yeah,
they're not going to lose a single game. It's crazy.
Well, they're going to draw. I mean, can draw.
Well, yeah, but to not lose, that's a pretty crazy statement. Which
I think the ball's about to go crazy, dog.
I think they could do it 100% with like a lot of things going their way.
You never know. Remember, they're kind of close. I mean, it could be a home game in certain situations for them. I mean, if they have the right fan base,
just not as much. I mean, like, compare, like when you look at the Nations League, like the Jamaica population. Where a lot of teams are playing is just it's a lot less than the Hispanic population in the area, and but it's like that's different. It's not even football; it's just geographical. So I don't know. They could do it 100%. They could do it.
I believe.
It's just
I believe.
All right. All right. Recap. Me bottom was Venezuela. Then it went to Jamaica, Mexico, Ecuador. Diego went Venezuela, Jamaica, Ecuador, Mexico. Right, I believe.
Yep.
Andres went Venezuela,
Ecuador,
Mexico. All right.
We'll see what happens. Just wait. All right. Hey, put money on Jamaica, guys. Hey, I'm amazing.
No betting. No.
Welcome to my betting corner.
Only if you want to. Only if you want to. And if you lose money,
go out and you have to bet.
No.
If you lose money, you're an idiot for listening to me.
Wow.
But if you win money, you're a genius for listening to me. It's a two-way street here, and both are not my fault, or maybe my fault. But please don't follow my advice and blame me and hate me, because honestly, it's your money. You do whatever you want. But put money on Jamaica. Got great betting odds, guys. I kid you not, it's got fantastic betting odds. Honestly, you should really put some money on it. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. But you should really do that. I highly recommend. Highly recommend.
You just encourage some kids gambling addiction.
For real.
Only if you're over the age of 21 or using Prize Picks. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys agreed, disagreed with our opinions, put it down in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. We'll sure create more Copa America content predictions for the next groups, C and D, as well as make other videos surrounding Copa America. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for that, and peace.